Lesson 7-1, Probability. We're beginning a unit today on probability that'll continue for the next several lessons. And so we're just going to start with an introduction of what probability is. Probability is the measure of how likely an event is to occur. It is always a number between 0 and 1. So that means you cannot have a negative value for probability, and it can't be a number that is greater than 1. It can be a fraction, decimal, or percent, but remember, it's got to be a value between 0 and 1. We can think about probability on a scale from 0 to 1, where if we said the probability of an event occurring is 0, that means that it won't happen. It would then be called impossible. And if we say the probability of an event occurring is 1, then that means it is certain. It will happen. And then we can have different descriptions of numbers between 0 and 1. If it's a number that's small, going closer to 0, such as the fraction 1/4, then we could describe it as being unlikely. And if it's a number that's greater, that's closer to 1, such as 3/4, then we could describe the event as likely to happen. And then in the event that the probability is 1/2, it's exactly halfway between 0 and 1. It's neither more likely to occur or less likely to occur, it's just halfway. We call that as likely as not. Now we could see these numbers represented as decimals, such as these that are given. Notice that they are decimal values between 0 and 1, just like the fraction values were between 0 and 1. And then we could also see them as percents. Remember that you may not see numbers that are exactly like these. For example, you could see a fraction such as 2/3, which would be 0.6 repeating, or about 67%. And so you're just going to need to be able to put them in a category. So if it's a number that is greater than 0% and less than 50%, then it's unlikely to happen. And if it is a number that is greater than 50% and less than 100%, then it is likely to happen. In our example, a bag contains 6 blue marbles, 6 red marbles, 3 green marbles, and 1 yellow marble. A part, how likely is it to draw a green marble? Well, we see there's 3 green marbles, and we can tell there is a total of 6 plus 6, which is 12, plus 3, which is 15, plus 1, which is 16 marbles. And so, I might even note there are 16 marbles. That would be our total. So how likely is it to draw a green marble? If there's only 3 out of 16, it could happen, but it is unlikely. B part, what is the probability of drawing a green marble? Well, there's 3 green marbles out of 16 green marbles. Out of 16 marbles total. So 3 out of 16 could describe the probability. We could also describe it as a decimal. That would be 0.1875, which is a decimal value between 0 and 1. It's 0 point something. Or we could describe it as a percent, 18.75%, which is a percentage between 1 and 100%, which still means it's between 0 and 1. Part C, how likely is it to draw a blue or red marble? Well, we see there's 6 blue and 6 red marbles, so there's a total of 12 blue or red marbles out of 16, so that's pretty likely. D part, what is the probability of drawing a blue or red marble? Well, remember there's 6 blue marbles and 6 red marbles, so there's 12 out of 16 marbles that are blue or red. We do need to reduce a fraction if it can be reduced. And 12 and 16 will both divide by 4. So we get 3/4 as a reduced fraction. We could write that as the decimal 0.75, or we could write that as a percent, 75%. E part, how likely is it to draw a purple marble? Well, we have to think, there are no purple marbles in the bag. So we would describe that as impossible. It will not happen since there are no purple marbles to choose. Part F, what is the probability of not drawing a yellow marble? Well, there's only one yellow marble out of 16, which means there's 15 that are not yellow. So there's 15 out of 16 of a probability of a chance of not drawing yellow. As a decimal, that's 0.9375, which is between 0 and 1 because it's 0 point something. And as a percent, that's 93.75% chance of not drawing a yellow.